Hi everyone. In between doing my more complicated videos, I had to come and do some percentages. It's really interesting because someone comes to mind when you've taught so many students. There's someone who might actually watch this video with his children. It will be interesting. Who was very, very good at maths but struggled with percentages. I remember many times just standing with him going through what percentages were. So we have a problem. First of all, what is a percentage? Percentage is where we're getting 1 out of every 100. So if my boss walked in and said you're getting a 1% pay rise, for every $100 I get a $1 pay rise. It's not bad. Actually, if I had a 2% pay rise, then it's going to be bigger. Of course, if I had a 3% pay rise, it's even bigger. So 1% is very small. So let's talk about the idea of what's basically going on. Over the years, I get into all the details and drawing grids and getting people to understand more recently. Just talk about this very small. By the way, in the middle of this, then there's the understanding of fractions and decimals. So invariably, everyone will change that into 0.01. And what are we doing? If you go back to most of your learning in primary school, they're the tenths and they're the 100ths. So we've got 1/100, so it's in the second decimal place. So we all teach that. We all talk about tenths, hundredths and thousands, and we break it up. But a lot of people struggle with fractions, and therefore they struggle with that. Simple rule, 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. So it doesn't matter whether you've got out of 1,000, you can just look at the number of zeros. But for today, everything we're looking at, because the percentages will be out of 100. So 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. So I could look at this one and just go 0.02. I could look at that one and go 0.03. Let's go back to the fraction. So this one will be 2 out of 100. And of course, that's acceptable, but a lot of people don't want to leave it as 2 out of 100 because this is even and that's even. I can half the top and half the bottom. Most people everyone halves 2 without a problem and they get a 1. A lot of people struggle with that. I don't know, I keep thinking about money. If you had 2 $50 bills, how much would you get? You'd have $100. So if I halved $100, how much would you get? $50. So when people talk money, they usually think it more logically or it clicks in their brain more than talking about here. There are other ways of thinking. I love the peekaboo method. I haven't talked about it yet on the videos. If I covered over that 0, the last 0, and I half 10. Most people are okay with halving 10. So 2 into 10 goes 5, and then I've got the 0. So 3% will be 3 out of 100. The good part about 3 out of 100, it won't simplify as a fraction. When you're talking out of 100, there's only some numbers that simplify. But we'll talk about that later. So 5% is 5 out of 100. If I go over to here, it's 0.05. Now, great answer. Kids would have that in an assessment, think they're right, the teacher takes off a half a mark or says no, it's not the best answer. This is where most students come unstuck. I can divide both of them by 5. I can go 5 into 5 goes once, so if I divide the top by 5, I have to divide the bottom by 5. And even though a lot of you watching will go, well that's easy, it's 20. There are a lot of students out there that struggle with it. So if I go back to the peekaboo method, if I cover over that 0, and I'm still dividing by 5, 5 into 10 goes twice, and I add the extra 0. So yes, we could slow down and go 5 into 100. 5 into, basically it's almost like covering over the 0 in the last one. 5 into 10 goes twice, and we have the 0 left over. So let's have a look at this one. By the time I got the 5%, before I go to 10, if I had a 5% pay rise, it'd be pretty exciting. Don't think it's ever happened in my life. I think the biggest is about 3. So here we go, we're going to talk about 10% would be massive. So that's 10 out of 100. Now here's where people go wrong. 10% is not 0.01. So that's the wrong answer. So what do we have to do? 0.1 would have been 1%, which is very small. This is bigger. Some of you will be looking at it and going, well, you just put 0.10. Technically, we don't call it 0.10, 0.10, but colloquially, a lot of people refer to it as 0.10. So 2 decimals. There's my 2 decimals. 2 decimals, there they are. So the 10 basically comes over to here. So So let's say you're still not comfortable, you don't understand it. 2 decimals, 2 numbers, you write them there. Then we've got this calculation here. Most people will look at it and just go, it's 1/10, but some people won't. So you can do this, you can cross out 1 0 on the top, you can cross out 1 0 on the bottom. You can't cross out that one with 2 of them, you can only cross out 1, and you're left with 1/10. Much more we can say about that, but not today. So this one will be 12 out of 100. The top is even and the bottom is even. So if I half 12, I get 6. I'm not going to go through halving 100 again. It's 50. All I could do, cover over the 0. Half of 10 is 5. I put the 0. They're still both even. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 50 gives people more problems. So if we go 2 into 50, 2 into 5 goes twice, and there's 1 left over. 2 into 10 goes 5. So I'm back at 3 on 25. Could you do it with the peekaboo method? Yes. 2 into 5 goes twice, but there was 1 left over. It's a little bit more confusing. So 1% up to 9%, you always have a 0 first. 10% and onwards, that number there is the number after the decimal. So there's some basics, and it covers a whole lot of stuff, including the fractions and the decimals as well. Thank you.